Part two to the Kountry Wayne skits that I would like to discuss. I would like to discuss Erica. Erica, I love you, girl, but honey, you and oh boy, even though y'all are trying to do what's right when it comes to Lawrence, sweetheart, you are trying to hold on to a dead horse, honey. I think you better let it go, sweetheart, because you and Lawrence are never going to be on the same page. You just ain't. At the end of the day, you and Lawrence are on different planes at this point. You are in one part, he's in another. I just feel as though the two of you need to just go ahead on and just pretty much let it go. Because y'all, I get it. You know, you two really do care about each other and you two really do love each other. But Nina has caused so much damage in your relationship. It ain't even funny how much damage this girl has caused in your relationship. The girl has caused a bunch of godforsaken chaos in your relationship that you need to let go of. Because, you know, the fact that you and old boy, there's nothing going on between the two of you, but there is chemistry. But in the end, at least with him, he ain't got all that drama going on. He ain't got all that drama going on like Lawrence does. And then his son don't like you. That's another thing. The fact that his son said what he said, you know, you got to respect how your child feels. Your child does not want to deal with Erica. He is sitting back watching the two of y'all fight all the time. He knows that Jada doesn't like you. Jada wants her parents back together. But yet and still, you can't seem to, you know, understand why he feels the way he feels. I'm not mad at this young man at all because honestly, he is being honest with his feelings. And you cannot be mad because this young man is saying what he's saying. And then the fact that Erica told you to get rid of her and yet you didn't. So how are you going to be mad because of the fact that Nina was bringing in a bunch of money when you could have went and got your own connections and you wouldn't be in this mess you in right now with Erica? You and Erica could have been planning a wedding. Everything would have been all good. And then the fact you can't deal with DC, the difference is this guy can actually stand up to DC. All right, y'all, back to Erica. Erica, you are dating the same type of men. They're just all different. A lot of times we'll date the same spirit type of people, but different physical bodies. So let me go deep because this goes spiritual, and this is something I had to learn. I dated the same type of spiritual men in different physical bodies. And when I learned that, that's when I realized I had to elevate. When I started elevating, meaning when I changed my career, went back to school, and got into the medical field, I started meeting more people. When I got on social media, I've been meeting some phenomenal people. Now that I'm doing coaching, I am meeting new people. So again, when you elevate, evolve, and you grow, then you are going to meet new people. And that means that your type of people you meet is going to be different. If you leave your environment, that's when everything is going to change. It's not going to change if you don't change not only yourself, but your environment. Because sometimes you got to change your environment. Sometimes you may have to move to another state. Sometimes you may have to move to another country. Environment plays a very big part of that. So the same thing I said before, Erica may need to not only change herself, but she needs to change her environment. It's not about other people changing, because y'all always say these people need to change. No, you do. You the one need to change. Because when you change, everything else changes. Everything else gonna change when you change. When you become a better person. When you elevate as far as your career. That is when everything changes. When you tune out all the noise, that's when everything changes. When you overcome your adversities, your fears, your insecurities, your doubts, When you learn to respect yourself and love yourself and find that within, and stop worrying about somebody love, like, appreciating, valuing, wanting, needing, you being a part of something, being validated, to be approved of, to be accepted, for somebody to know your worth and proving something to people. When you stop being captain, save a hoe, build a bear, build a dog, seat fillers, and people pleasers, that's when you gonna meet the people you're supposed to be around. But because you're lowering yourself and you're doubting yourself, and because you won't leave your environment, that is when you will change. And if you don't, you're going to continue going through it. Because in North Carolina, I had to do that. I had to move. But when I was in a sax coach, you'd be amazed how many people I met. I met some great people. Me doing my vocal podcast. How many doctors I've met. How many people that are in mental health I've met. So again, when you change your environment, it ain't got nothing to do with what you look like. Ain't got nothing to do with that. It got everything to do with you elevating you. Once you elevate yourself, everything else will change. It will all change when you do. So when Erica elevate mentally and psychologically and emotionally and spiritually, so even though she's financially, hold on one second. Sorry, I'm talking to somebody on the computer. But anyway, chatting. But anyway, like I said, when it comes down to you, it's not about everybody else changing, about you changing. Because people gonna change if they want to change. So that's the way I look at it. People have to want to change. You can't change nobody but you. So like I said, when you start building your community and you start meeting new people, you got to be open. It's not about dating somebody. It ain't about none of that. It's about when you meet people, it's about getting to know them in general and let everything else, go from there. So that's how I look at that. So when it comes to this situation, Erica got to change her. Erica got to elevate herself. Erica is elevating when it comes to her business, but she's not elevating when it comes to her. Because again, you can be well dressed, you can be drop dead gorgeous, but that don't mean that you elevating mentally. So just because you're elevating financially does not mean you're elevating mentally. If you still got all this trauma, all this other stuff going on, go get therapy, go get help with that. Because the success is not going to matter if you ain't where you need to be here and here and here. It don't matter. Health and wellness internally and externally is important. So that's what I'm trying to get people to understand when it comes to health and wellness and when it comes to recovery. Every part, mentally, psychologically, emotionally, spiritually, internally, and externally, when it comes to your health and wellness, your finances and your relationships, all and environment matters. So you got to change all of that. So it ain't just healing just this. It's healing everything. Because when you start changing one thing, everything else got to change too. Because a new version of you got to match in every aspect, not just this. This got to be good. This got to be good. This got to be good. Financially got to be good. Your relationships got to be good. All of it has to be good. So while you going through this journey, you're going to be cutting, adding, deprogramming, newly programming. It ain't no nothing. It's either deprogramming or newly programming. And that is what she has to do. So that's the way I look at it. So in the end, that's the way I look at the situation. Hold on. Okay. So yeah, Erica got a lot of growing to do. So yeah, you can grow financially and still be just the same person you were. You can lose weight and still be the same person mentally and psychologically and emotionally. You can still get out your environment and still be the same person that you were. So when you do any of these things, you got to be a new person before you step into it. You cannot be the person that you were when you step into something new. You got to be a completely different new individual. And you got to be open to something new, open to new possibilities, and open to meeting new people. So your whole entire philosophy got to be changed. With that being said, that's my thoughts on Erica.